The countryside of Brandenburg is distinguished by its pine woods, lakes, small hills and picturesque avenues, popular destinations for excursions. In order that future generations may also experience and enjoy this beauty, we must protect our environment. An important contribution is how to deal with waste. Since the middle of 2005, municipal waste is no longer allowed to be stored on sites unprocessed. It must be processed according to the Ordinance on Environmentally Compatible Storage of Waste so that the environment won't be damaged. In order to comply with this important task, the Southern Brandenburg Waste Treatment Association and the administrative district Oder-Spree founded the Waste Treatment Association Nutter-Spree, in short ZAB, in 2002. From 2004 to 2006, it invested in the future by building one of the most progressive residual waste treatment plants in Europe, and thus created new qualified jobs in the region. The mechanical biological stabilization plant is located in Niederlehme, approximately 40 kilometers from Berlin city center. In this plant, municipal waste is processed in a mechanical biological treatment, 135,000 tons per year from over 200,000 households. With the dry stabilate method, municipal waste is separated after chopping and drying and then recycled into individual material categories. More than 50% of the daily municipal waste can be converted into a high-class substitute fuel. The so-called dry stabilate is used for power generation in industrial plants and power plants, resource-saving and environmentally sound. Trucks transport the municipal waste directly to the plant. Airlocks at the gates prevent offensive smells from escaping from the stock. The waste is dumped into a deep silo. Its capacity of approximately 7,000 cubic meters is equivalent to about 300 truckloads. That is as much as the average waste of 100,000 households per month in the region of the association. Moist municipal waste is first collected in the deep silo. A second area, the flat silo, serves mainly for the delivery of dry industrial and bulky waste. The amount of industrial and bulky waste is approximately 20%. After a rough separation, this waste is processed individually. In the next step, any waste from the deep silo is pre-chopped in order to be easily separated afterwards. The pre-chopping machine is filled by a computer-controlled crane. After chopping, the waste is delivered to the intermediate silo. A second crane then fills each of the 9 rotting boxes. Computer programs control the accurate and correct filling. In the rotting boxes, the first important step for further processing of the water is made. In order to separate and sort the waste, it first has to be dried. In a controlled process, the microorganisms in the waste produce heat, which leads to the evaporation of moisture. The waste is stabilized biologically for 7 days under lock and key. Computer-controlled air supply and collection by ventilators control the temperature and carry off moisture and exhaust gases from the boxes. The loss of moisture leads to a loss of about 30% of the waste's mass. The exhaust air evolving in the drying process may not be drawn off to the outside. With a temperature of 50 degrees centigrade, it contains organic compounds such as alcohols, aldehydes and aromatic hydrocarbons, which form odorous substances. By condensing the exhaust air in a heat exchanger, the moisture is eliminated. The evolving condensate is processed separately. By chemical and biological methods, the concentrations of ammonium, COD and BOD5 are reduced, and the water is then filtered. The cleaned waste water partly evaporates in the cooling cycle. The remaining part is collected in a separate tank and serves as water for firefighting in case of emergency. The exhaust air contains organic and partly toxic components. In 3 combustors of the air treatment plant for short Lara through which the air flows, the thermic destruction is made at a temperature of 850 degrees centigrade. After a following waste heat utilization, the exhaust air may now be harmlessly carried off into the environment. After 7 days, the drying process is complete and the rotting box may be opened. The dry condition of the waste facilitates efficient processing and accurate separation of the materials. The waste is much fluffier now.